Assessment 3, Sensor Tech Evangelos Alexiou 1618 795. For my third assessment, I've taken the patch from Federico Fedoraro, or Amazing Mac Stuff. It's his YouTube channel, and it was a max patch that would create particles depending on where your mouse is. I've kept that feature, but I've added also I made it being audio reactive. I've changed a few parameters in the patch in order to change the color of it, the visualization of it, and also I found out a way by connecting some objects together to make it be either the mouse make it be either independent or have it being in the horizontal line, have it being able to move only horizontally, not vertically, like only left and right. This is my Arduino board and my breadboard. It's a pretty simple setup. It's just two potentiometers. These two will control two parameters in the patch, which are the attraction of the mouse and the attraction. The attraction. One of it controls the attraction of the mouse, and the other one controls the attraction of the center of the JIT world right here. Yeah, the center of the window you can see with the visuals right now. So what do we have here? We have in the presentation mode, we have a JIT world on and off switch. We have the audio input on and off. We have the mouse attraction force, which I control with the potentiometer. As you can see, I can change the center of I can change the attraction force of the center or the mouse. And you probably noticed that by the time I tweaked the second parameter, the particles moved to the center. Now, this here, that parameter right here, is the one that is manipulated according to the audio that's being received through the microphone. And what that parameter does is that the bigger it is, the bigger the diameter of the particles that will spread in the screen. The smaller it is, the shorter it will be. So the louder the sound, the more, let's say, the bigger the expansion will be of the particles. Lastly, this button right here switches on and off the connection between Max and the Arduino board. Now let's move on to the patching mode. It's a bit more untidy. That patch right here is basically the jitter that shows us all the visuals. So that sub patch right here is the sub patch that controls the mouse. It's got all the mouse coordinates in here, which sends a metro, sends a signal from here, from the S metro to the R metro right here, which is that particle system we see right here. This one is the particle system. These two, this is the sub patch of it. So the same code that you see right here is also in here, but I've taken it out in order to be able to start tweaking it more easily. As I've said before, yeah, the audio input controls that parameter right here. The the two potentiometers that I have control that value, which is the attraction of the mouse coordinates, and the other one is the attraction of the center. Now you realize what's happening right here. If I have the center attraction all the way down, all we can see is blue, white, and purple. In the first place, I thought that this is changing the color, but that's not what happens. What happens is that by having the center attraction to 0, all the colors are being merged one in front of the other, so we can only see blue, purple, and white right now. If I increase that value right here, you start watching other colors popping up as well, such as red one, green one, and yellow one. Okay. Now let's move into the sub patch, and I'll explain to you a few changes that I have done. As I've mentioned, So basically here we have the vector 0, 0, and 0. And what happens here is, as we can see now, we can move the mouse all over the screen and the particles will move all over the screen independently. If I unplug the middle inlet, what will happen is that now I'm able to move it only left and right, and that's about it. If I move it all the way to, just to illustrate the center attraction parameter, if I have it here, for example, on the left side of the screen, and I start increasing the attraction of the center, you see that the particles start moving left and right. What happens is that the particle happens on the left side, but it's being attracted by the center, so it looks like it's moving somehow to the left or to the right, depending on where do you want to move it to. What I've also done here is I have changed that number to to multiply by 5. It was only to multiply by 4. What this does again is that it determines the intensity of the particles. For example, if I have it on 4, I wouldn't be able to see as much detail on the particles. It would be more merged to the center. Yeah, so that's basically it for the force subpatch. And if I move on to the velocity, what I've tricked from here, what I've realized from here is that I thought in the first place again that these parameters here control the color, or like the red, green, and blue values, but that's not the case. Red, green, and black values, but this is not the case. So what happens here is if I connect it with any of the side inlets, that object, no matter what I do, I'm able to see only 2 colors, which is purple and blue. And similar thing happens if I plug it into this one. We see no matter if I tweak the center value, it's still the same colors. While if I have it in the middle, I'm able to start to see, first of all, being white if the center attraction position is in the middle. And if I turn it all the way up, we see other colors popping up as well, like green, blue, yellow, pink, white, all sorts of combinations. Now, what happens if I have the mouse attraction position all the way up, which is 200? If I have it all the way up, it means that the particles will be attracted more to the mouse, rather than if I have it more to if I have it all the way down to 0, you see that the control of the mouse somehow happens quicker, while if I move it all the way up, we see that the mouse is pretty much doing nothing when I move it around the particles. So, yeah, and that has to do with the audio that we receive. When there's no audio received, or there are low levels of audio received, the particles move slower. So we see them moving slowly. Now my voice will trigger it again, and it'll go like that. If I have it all the way up, probably we exceeded the signal right now. My voice is too loud. Yeah, if I have it all the way up, the center of attraction, we see that it creates some kind of a circle, some kind of a tube, a spiral that goes in. So yeah, it's an audio reactive patch. I'm going to be using it for my events, for the visuals. I'll probably improve it a little bit. But yeah, this is what I have done so far.